Condensing trap. So this is part of our series of what's inside your boiler. So you have a condense trap. This is normally located at the bottom end of your boiler, and you might just see this little bit poking out, or you might just see a little white pipe that goes out that might disappear, or it might go out the wall to a bigger pipe, or should be a bigger pipe outside. So what condense is the fumes from the heating system that are escaping via the chimney or the flue are in more modern condensing boilers are cooled by a fan, and what this does is create condensation that pulls that latent heat back into the boiler and creates a liquid. This liquid needs to then leave your boiler so that the fumes or the fumes that the boiler creates doesn't escape into the building or anything like that. There's a trap created. So the water sits here and creates a seal so then fumes don't escape into your home. That's why these are vital, also why you shouldn't try and clean them yourselves. So very similar to a trap that's under your sink. So a trap on your sink, the water sits in that little U-bend, that's this part really in this scenario, and that water sits at a point that stops the smells from the drains coming up. So it's the same sort of concept. So this water then needs somewhere to go, and what it does is then escapes right here, and as you'll see there, that will then go down this white tube and out to a drain or another means that's been deemed suitable for that water to go. It is important that this water disappears to a drain. It is very high in acidic. It can destroy copper. So when these are dripping, they just eat through stuff. So metal casing of the boilers. If you have a condensing trap leaking inside the boiler, we normally find we open up the case and there's rust everywhere at the bottom because of the water standing still in that boiler and it starts eating the case. So it does need to be disposed of in a suitable manner according to building regulations, and that's normally an outside waste drain. Sometimes you can have what's called a soakaway, and it's a small tubular case that goes in the floor, almost like a bucket, and it's filled with limestone, which is very alkaline, which will then neutralize the acidity of the water because it can damage concrete foundations, especially in chalky pits. It can corrode the chalk away very quickly. So this part is part of our basic servicing of a boiler. We will make sure that any debris that's in there, so the little trap underneath, we will then, I was going to do that a little bit lower so I don't soak myself. We clean all that out, make sure you can see all the debris that's in there. That will all be cleaned out and washed away and then refilled with fresh water to create that trap so it's not just a dry, reset back on the boiler, tested while we do the rest of our checks. So that, in a simplistic term, is a condensed trap. And the reason with much older condensing, this is siphonic, so as you saw it made the water waste away quite fast. A lot of water comes out, but what you find is when that water's dribbling out and you've got a small pipe like this outside, the cold weather and the wind blowing against it freezes them drip to water, and that's when it gets blocked. If that gets blocked, the water then collects in this, fills up, and then fills your boiler up. And when your boiler's trying to fire, the steam created from the water will extinguish the flame, and the boiler will predominantly go into a flame loss fault or an F1 fault, or depending on the manufacturer of what it is. So that's what's a condense trap is inside your boiler. If we ever tell you it needs replacing, or it's filled with rubbish, or it's leaking, that's what it is. Now you know. My name is Terry Matthews from Smart Heat Experts, keeping you cosy and warm in mid-Sussex.